It's the Wait a Minute show.
Bruh, ain't that right, Lopan? Wait a minute. Book it. Really? Really?
The Wait a Minute Show with your host, Jolani J.B. Bodie.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your man, Jelani J.B. Bodie, host of this thing called The Wait a Minute Show, and we are on once again to give you a sports fix like we always do. So, before I go any further, I want to say thank you. I want to start this thing off by saying thank you. And I'm thanking everyone that's involved with the Wait a Minute Show toy drive, right? Whether you were sharing the information, providing, motivation, talking about it, made a donation, whatever. Checked out the documentary that we did, about it. If you haven't seen it, it's on the YouTube channel that you're watching right now, so you can watch it. But also, if you were entertained, and if you have not seen them just yet, you will see them. And I'm trying to boot them up as I'm on here. But if you haven't seen them, you will see them. All the promos that have went down for the for the toy drive, right? I'm gonna have all of them on here, so if you haven't seen them, you're gonna be able to check them out and laugh about it. And speaking of laughter, probably the funniest person to laugh at is here, and that is none other than Lopan.
Indeed.
Yes, so I'm glad that Lopan considers himself to be a comedian. Having said all that, right? Let me finish this thing off. We got 1 week left, ladies and gentlemen. 1 week left in the Wait a Minute Show toy drive. We have already reached the 2,500 mark, and we are trying to get to 3,000, right? So we got a week to get to the 3,000 mark, and I feel that we can do it. I know that we can do it. All we got to do is make sure we continue to spread the word, and what I've been saying from the get-go is $1, $2, $5. Somebody else will say that as well later. It all adds up, and I am truly, truly serious when I say that. So it doesn't matter what the donation is. Just go ahead. If you got $1, if you got $2, go ahead. Send it. We'll take it because it's going to sponsor a kid at nonprofit organization Helping Hands of Paulding County and make the holiday season, pretty good for them. So let's go ahead and get started with the sports topics. And the first one is, finally came home, right? Brittney Griner finally. The U.S. and Russia has made a prisoner exchange, but they made an exchange because Russia wanted their person, and obviously the U.S. wanted to get Brittney back for all the situation and everything that was going on with it. So she has she's back on U.S. soil, so everybody is excited about that. Everybody is happy about that. Of course, why wouldn't you want to be? So all of this stuff that's been going on, right? So people have said a bunch of things, and they've had valid, points that they've said, about this. At the end of the day, here's my question, right? And I think I know, the answer to this point is that, hey, Brittney Griner is never probably going back to Russia, right? I wouldn't suggest, going back after, what was transpired, because getting caught up, basically, she really just got caught up. No, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Because I know people are going to say, well, wait a minute, Jelani. She had substance with her that she shouldn't have had. You're absolutely right. I get all that. But the bigger picture here, it really wasn't about that. It wasn't about what she had in her bag. What this was an opportunity for someone to pull power moves, right? And they utilized the situation for that power move to happen because it would be a big story, as it turned out to be. So I don't think Brittney's ever going back, to Russia, because look, all of this, like I said, was part of a bigger picture. Right. Yes, it was, the stuff that was going on was she broke the law, over there. But I like I said, this is about a bigger picture. So Brittney's not going to go, back over to Russia. Now, having said all that, will other players go there going forward? I would tend to think yes, because they're going to be like, although they may not like it, they still got a situation here in the U.S. where it's just like, this is how I get my money. This is how I pay my bills. This is, how I live, the lifestyle that I live by playing these games, overseas. So I think we'll still, have that. But when the WNBA season rolls around, it's going to be pretty interesting. And I know it's going to be, some type of interview. I don't know who's going to get it, but somebody's going to get an interview with Brittney Griner to talk about, everything that transpired. But I just think it was, unfortunate that all of this, happened. I wish it hadn't happened. And I'm sure, everybody wish it, wouldn't have happened. But it was a bigger game to me that transpired. And there were other people that's involved, and there's still other people that's involved. Let's not forget that as well. There's still people that needs to come home as well. We know, because of the name, that's going to, let's just be honest, that's going to get shot up, to the top as far as like people paying attention to it. It's still going on. It's still, other moves that need to be made. But as far as like what we're talking about, sticking with the sports and everything, I think the amount of basketball players that's going to probably be going over to Russia is going to decrease, at least for the time being. It could, go back up later on, but right now it's like nobody wants to play, those games, because nobody wasn't playing any games in that situation. So moving on, let's get into, dare I say, Mountain West, or go Northwest, or Iowa, Central, West, whatever. Let's go to Colorado, right? And Deion Sanders. Deion has now, it's official. He's been there a week up at this point with Colorado University. He's been at the basketball games where they're going crazy, calling Deion Sanders, Deion. They're calling his name, and all that. And a lot has transpired in the past week as far as like thoughts about Deion leaving Jackson State and whether it was a right move, and who was what, and what people have called him names and all that stuff. So we've been through all of that and pointing out that stuff, which is still, not done. People are still going to be talking about it. But as far as like right now, where we're at this point is that it is recruiting time, right? Kids are deciding where they're going to go to school, and Deion Sanders is in the mix now when it comes to Colorado University, which is a Power 5, part of a Power 5 conference. So the question remains now is that going forward, how does that look? What is going to be the success rate? Because Deion has created, this level of expectation, right? And he has a level of expectation himself for what he's looking to accomplish as well. And it doesn't stop here. Let me just say that. It's going to be beyond Colorado. All right. So if you haven't learned anything before, is that Deion won't be there. If they have success, Deion won't be there long. Actually, if they don't have success, Deion won't be there that long either. Right. That's just the name of the game. But, for now, it's, can he get those same recruits? Can he get more recruits? I think that's the biggest thing. He got Travis Hunter. That was a big name. That was something that really shocked a lot of people. Now it is, can you get multiple, like what you would call shockers, if you will, to come to Colorado, right? Deion is an excellent recruiter as far as like stepping into people's living rooms, as far as like talking. Everybody knows who he is. So yeah, he's going to have to, utilize that. But there's still a lot of work that's involved, and it's another challenge. Because here's what, Deion is not taking over a team that won, what was 500% or just missed a bowl. This team was 1-11. 1-11. So just like Jackson State had their challenges, Colorado have their challenges. And it is going to be getting in recruits. It's going to be winning games sooner than later, and bringing that aura and bringing that vibe that he brought to Jackson State, and trying to recreate that. That's a tough task. It's not that easy. Okay. So Recruiting wise, yeah, he'll get some. I don't think he's still. Do I think Colorado is going to have a top 10 recruiting class? No, I don't think there. But I do think he'll be able to get some pieces in there that he wouldn't just because of the school itself and what the school can provide. So, well wishes. Hope it works out. You know, if it don't, they'll fire Deion, and you know and won't think anything about it. So this is and he's already put it out there. Anyway, this is about changing the culture. There. So they have these expectations that he's going to change that culture, and they're going to be winning, and they're going to get back to what Colorado Buffalo football was. And if they do, oh my gosh, if Colorado, just say in the next 2 years, next 2-3 years, right? If Colorado changed things around, because there ain't no way, but up from one win. So they change things around. They get in a bowl game. Let's just say he flips them and they get into a bowl game next year. Then he gets his other recruits, and then they start, creeping into the top 25. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy over there, and things are going to change. But that's a lot of ifs and everything. We're about factual stuff, so we'll see what happens when all that happens. When everything, transpires itself out and plays itself out. Right, Lopan?
Indeed.
Right. Now, other thing I want to say that I didn't say at the beginning of the show as well is if you want to donate to the Wait a Minute Show toy drive, you can go to the waitaminuteshow.com, right? Very easy. But you're going to hear that more, not just from me, from some other folks. But also, we got a lot of other stuff to talk about, right? So we're going to take a break, and then when we come back from the break, I'm going to get into my NFL 3-pack. It's a lot of games. Actually, I may go 4. I'll let you decide. But after we come back, we'll talk about that and a little bit more. Lopan, take us to the break. Look.
Do you want your next Atlanta event to be memorable? If so, have Drink and Color at your next function. Drink and Color is sophisticated bartending that creates signature cocktails for your special occasion. Wow your family, friends, and business associates next time with Drink and Color. You can contact the owner, Kiki Lewis, at 678-813-7102. That's 678-813-7102. You can also email her at drinkandcolor@gmail.com and follow on Instagram at drinkandcolor. And tell her you were referred by the Wait a Minute Show. Drink and Color, cocktail catering. Let the cocktail sparkle at your next event.
Breathe it in, ladies and gentlemen. The life, the joy, the Wait a Minute Joy Drive has officially begun. It is a great morning. Good morning, my neighbors!
Hey, freak you!
Yes, freak you too!
What do we have here? Looks like we got ourselves a toy drive. Yeah! The Wait a Minute Show toy drive going on from November 18th to December 17th. Yeah, it's real easy to do. Just go to the waitaminuteshow.com and you got your choices between PayPal, Cash App, or the GoFundMe. Yeah, it doesn't matter the donation. $1, $2, $5, it all adds up. So go to the waitaminuteshow.com. Ooh, yeah! Dig it! Ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and this is
It's the Wait a Minute Show.
here on the YouTube channel. So make sure you liking and subscribing and turn on those notifications. So one thing I want to mention, Slow Pen looking at me. During the toy drive, I said that I was going to keep my face, cut and all this stuff and not look like a caveman. Indeed. Okay, Lopan, that's enough. And I've kept true to my word. I have, because last year and the years before, I get caught up in the toy drive and I'm just looking crazy. So I cleaned it up and I'm looking good. Indeed. Okay, Lopan, we get it. We get it. But we're back and we're talking about sports, and this is the NFL 3-pack, right? I do this all the time. Talk about three games you should be interested in and checking out, right? So we're going to start with my Detroit Lions, right? The Detroit Lions, are we serious? Yes, we're talking about the Detroit Lions because winners of the four last 5 games, which they lost a close game to Buffalo on Turkey Day, on Gobble Gobble Day and everything. So it really could have been 5 wins in a row, but hey, it happens. But the reason why this is interesting is that the Detroit Lions are favored, ladies and gentlemen. Check that out. Vegas is favoring the Lions against 10-2 Minnesota. Now, these are divisional opponents, so they play each other twice a year, and no one knows the other team more than the divisional opponent, right? So Detroit had Minnesota on the ropes last time they played up in Minnesota. So obviously I see where they're getting these numbers from, on it. But Detroit it looks like they might have turned the corner as far as like in heading into something. And I talked about this before the season, and I thought they could get to, dare I said 10 wins, right? That was kind of where I said they could max out at 10 wins. And they still could, finish relatively, well, and they still could make the playoffs. So this team is hot right now. They're playing well. They just got Jamison Williams into the mix. Their first round pick, Aiden Hutchinson, he's slowed down a little bit, but he's been, a factor as well. They get DJ Chark back, who's one of their big receivers. St. Brown, it's a lot of pieces that the Detroit Lions got, and they're playing really well. They're putting up points and they're making, adjustments. So this game is something to watch. I know I didn't talk anything about Minnesota, but I shouldn't have to. They're 10-2. They got Justin Jefferson. They've been, eking out these close games and everything. So can they hold on? And they're going to be playing on the road. So Detroit has played very well at home, and they've put up a bunch of points. So watch that game. I think you're going to be really interested in seeing how that game transpired, because that's going to be a major, major jump for Detroit if they can win that divisional game. The next game that we got going on is going to be, it was going to be the battle of the former New England Patriot quarterback, but Jimmy G got hurt, and maybe, possibly, perhaps he's out for the year, but there's still hope that he could come back later on in the playoffs. So right now, Brock Purdy has stepped in. Yes, last pick of the NFL draft, and now he's one of the most important people in the building for the San Francisco 49ers. And they're going to be taking on one Tom Brady, who will be coming home, the California boy, to take on the San Francisco 49ers again. And plain and simple, on San Francisco side, can Purdy really be able to carry this team, because it's one thing to step in the middle and there's a game plan for another guy. Now, they're going to look, there's not a lot, of tape on him, but can he sustain what the San Francisco 49ers have? And a good challenge and a good, test is going to be going up against, Tampa Bay, right? We saw what Tampa did just last week to the New Orleans Saints, where they thought they had the game run, and then Tom, he did his thing. So, and the other side is, can Tom Brady and Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Bucks, put together a game from beginning to end where it's not them struggling, right? They have struggled at times, during games, and they've had to pull, some games out. They're not, their record is definitely not that hot in the NFC South, but they're still leading it right now, which they could, finish the season and win the division. But can they put that? They got San Francisco's D. San Francisco's D ain't no joke, right? Can they put a game together from beginning to end and go ahead and take advantage of a new quarterback in the mix? That's the second game. I shouldn't have to go any further, on that. Third and last game is going to be an AFC matchup where it is the Miami Dolphins taking on the LA Chargers. This should be a shootout, right? This should be a shootout. This is a Sunday night game right where they want it. I think they flexed this game action into the Sunday night spot. So this should be a shootout. Will this game be a shootout? Hopefully it will be, because going back and forth and Justin Herbert throwing the ball, 50 times, Tua throwing the ball 51 times, the run game, all of that we should get. We should get a very entertaining, high scoring game. That's what we hope, right? That's what we hope. Those are three. Those are the three. And I'm not spending a lot of time on it because it explains it. It explains itself. And also, we got a lot of teams that's out. I think we got 6 teams that's out on bye this week, which is the last week of bye. So everything is really about to turn up a notch. Everyone's going to be vying for playoff position. Everybody's going to be trying to get everything right going into the playoffs, because after this week, what you got, 3 games before the playoffs start. So you really want to get this going right now. Is it 3 games? Let's see. This is week 14. Is it 15, 16, 17, 10? Yeah. It's going to be like 3 more games. So it right before, the playoffs kick off. So yeah, it's gonna be mad interesting. So those are my 3. My Detroit Lions versus the Minnesota Vikings. We got, what was my second one? San Francisco versus Tampa Bay, and of course the Sunday night game, which we're expecting a shootout between the LA Chargers and the Miami Dolphins, right? So let's get off the 3-pack and then get into our next topic. We talked about, if you're just, because this is live right now, but if you're joining us, we talked about Brittney Griner, we talked about Deion Sanders in the 3-pack. Now, let's get into what transpired Thursday night in a football game, and that is the Las Vegas Raiders. It happened again. What's again? Again is that the Raiders somehow found a way to lose a game, let's just be honest, that they shouldn't have lost. They should have won this game. They started out well, moving the ball. Halftime, they're up 13-3. You're doing what you need to do. But somehow, some way, a lapse or something, I can't explain it. I don't have the answers, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have the answers. You let Jeff Saturday come in his first game and they beat you. Granted that, he got the coaching staff with him, but it's like you have to try and make Jeff, just like, what was it, last week or the week before with Jeff Saturday and the timeouts and everything. You got to make it difficult. You got to make it confusing. You got to put them on the spot, right? They weren't able to do that. And then to make matters even worse, because Jeff Saturday had a coaching staff that had been there. So it wasn't all on him. They totally did it as a team effort. But to have someone like Baker Mayfield, and when I say like Baker Mayfield, I'm just talking about a guy who had he not asked for a release, he would have been sitting in street clothes watching, or he would have been the third quarterback, but he would have been watching a game this week. And he asked for his release, and then 2 days in the LA Rams facility, he's able to, terminology, all that stuff, get on board, get in sync with wide receivers and all that. He's able to do this and then lead a 98-yard game-winning drive, right? There were some penalties and everything that helped in that drive, but regardless, you had him on the 2. You're in the prime situation of what you want, where Chandler Jones and Max Crosby can pin their ears back and go after deep off it. And somehow, it's mind-boggling. It is mind-boggling. I don't know, and I don't even know if this is one of those things. It's like, well, who do you blame and who do you point the finger? Everybody. I mean, Ice Cube was sitting up in the stands next to Mark Davis. I know Ice Cube was probably like, hey, I'm out of here, right? This is ridiculous. I know he was disappointed. You got him right where you want him, man, and you let him off the hook. With a guy that had only been in there 2 days, that's bad. Let's just say that. That's bad. You're supposed to make Baker make some mistakes and a bunch of mistakes. And then it turns into, well, hey, what do you expect? Baker was, only there for 2 days. He's trying to, pick up everything. Everybody would have been like that, right? Raiders did what they were supposed to do, and they didn't. They didn't. Now, I'm a little perturbed, too. I'll tell you later. I am a little perturbed, right? But Raider fans are just like, what is going on? We don't understand, and I don't understand either. I don't get it, right? So this is a Saturday show right now that you're watching. So before anything goes down, I'm gonna go ahead and make my pick, because later on the Heisman race is going to come to an end, because you already got your 4 finalists there in New York, and they're going to make an announcement today on who is winning the Heisman. So I'm not going to bore you with the stats and everything. All these guys, Stetson Bennett, look, Georgia's #1 team in the country. So, and let's just be real. Stetson Bennett plays a part in that, right? Plays a part in that. Got to give him credit for what the kid, has done. This kid, Max Dugan, I want to make sure I say his name right. Max Dugan, because I always want to say Duger for some reason, or Duggar. It's Dugan. Look, TCU could be undefeated, right? They just decided to go for the win. So you got to give them credit, for that. So they only got, 1 loss, and time in, time out, games that they were out, he has been able to bring them back and win those games. Had he not, we're not even talking about TCU. TCU is probably not even in the top 25, because they would have enough losses to take them out of the top 25 if it wasn't for this kid, Max, right? CJ Stroud for Ohio State. Look, I'm a Michigan fan, but CJ Stroud is that dude, right? He is. It is what it is. They run, the offense they was running and the wide receivers that they had and what he utilized, and they only got 1 loss, right? That's all due to CJ Stroud. And the last person, Caleb Williams. Yeah, they got 2 losses. That was in the championship game. But throughout the season, and it's to the same team. It's to Utah. But throughout the season, the kid has balled out, right? So who's going to win this thing, right? Everybody think Caleb Williams is probably the favorite and everything. And I agree. I'm going to go with that and say Caleb Williams will, win this. If it is not Caleb Williams, I would probably say they probably would give it to Max. I don't know if Stetson, granted, what Stetson has done, I don't know if they would give it to him, but I think this is Caleb Williams really, really the lose. He came over there and he showed out, and he was a problem all year. It was a problem, and he slowly became a problem, for people, and people started to notice as the season, went on. So I wouldn't be upset. I wouldn't be upset at all. I think, you're getting it right by giving it to Caleb Williams. All of them have done excellent jobs, but obviously they only can pick one. So that's who I got for the Heisman, right? So got a few more promos for you, and we're going to come back and we'll get into some NBA talk, Giannis, Celtics, and I was thinking about, I'm not going to do a big L award, but I am going to do a perturb award, okay? Let's just say that. I'll do a perturb award. You never know. You never know what happened on the break. But we'll be back after this.
Do you like making an impression? Who doesn't?
Well, when you want to dress to impress for less, check out Rail Scott at Prime Ties to Go on Facebook and Instagram. Quality accessories for men and women at low, counted low prices. Everything from ties, bow ties, watches, bracelet, earrings to pocketbooks. Don't miss out. Check out Rail Scott, the owner, at Prime Ties to Go. That's Prime Ties, the number 2, Go, on Facebook and Instagram.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. And as promised, I got a special guest for you. Joining me here to talk about his toy drive is none other than Brother Varnell. Thank you for coming on the show, Brother Varnell. Let's start off. Why do you do the toy drive? Thank you for having me on, man. I mean, I appreciate it. So, yeah, why do I do it? Well, it's for the kids, man. It's for the kids. You can go to the waitaminuteshow.com. Go to the Wait a Minute Show toy drive and help your man Varnell. Did you miss May? Man, let me call this dude. Hello? This is John speaking. Yo, John, it's JB. You still got the Wait a Minute Show toy drive going? What? The toy drive, is it still going? What? The toy drive that happens every year. What? The toy drive for the kids? Huh? The toy drive from November 18th through December 17th. Yeah! Can I still go to the website to make a donation? What? It is the waitaminuteshow.com where I go to make a donation. What? Man, I'm just going to go to the website and make a donation. Wait, so you're telling me you're going to go to the waitaminuteshow.com and make a financial contribution by way of PayPal, Cash App, or the GoFundMe page? Yes, man. Okay. Bye, bro. Yeah! Ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you have enjoyed that. I know I have, and it's been fun. Like I said, we got another week left in the toy drive, so go to the waitaminuteshow.com. You can make a donation, $1, $2, $5. Doesn't matter. It all adds up. So props to everybody out there, man. And again, hopefully you enjoy all the promo stuff that was going out there, right? Yeah. So we have fun. You know, we try and have fun with it. So before we get out of here, let's talk some NBA talk, basketball talk, right? So Giannis in these free throws, right? These free throws. There's a 10-second limit when you're at the free throw line. If you go over the 10 seconds, hey, you don't get a shot. The shot doesn't count, right? And Giannis has been having these situations at times where he's been going 13 seconds and over. And some players have been, pointing it out is that, look, I think you're giving him a little bit too much time. Look, if he can't put it up in 10, he got to go, right? And Giannis has admitted to this. He's just said, look, I'm in my routine. That's my routine. If it goes past 10 seconds and they penalize me for it and I don't get the point, then I'm just going to run to the other end of the court. I know what the rule is. So it's not Giannis, saying, oh, it's somebody else's fault or anything like that. What I'm really worried about is that will this thing come back at some point later on to be a problem or maybe cost them? And I'm thinking more of the playoffs, right? Because if this thing is happening And it doesn't seem like it's any rhyme or reason. Like it could happen at any time. The last thing that you want to happen is to have this situation go down in a playoff game where there's a tight game and you get a point taken away or a shot that doesn't count in a really close game. That could happen. In the playoffs, there are kind of, close games. So I really do think that although Giannis and Bud, Coach Bud has Budenholzer, that's his name, have acknowledged this, and Budenholzer is not going to, especially not in the public, but he's definitely probably going to talk to him and just say, hey, man, we got to get that, 9 seconds. We got to get that 9 or 8, 8 seconds because we don't want that coming back. So, yeah, I do think, in the playoffs, that could cost them a game. So it's got to be addressed. It got to be situated, before the playoffs are. I think it will. I don't think, even if Giannis has to rush his shot, I think he will, because the last thing he wants is to have these violations or whatever, and it cost him a game. So it starts after the All-Star break, right? After the All-Star break. I don't know, no need to just make a big, just point it out. Hey, Giannis, hey, yeah, hey, you good, bro. Hey, just make sure you keep an eye on it. After the All-Star break, hey, man, if it's still going on, can't have it. I know it, you know it, and then move on. But I don't think it'll be a problem. Well, I do think it can be a problem, but my thought process is he's going to fix it way before then, right? Last thing we're going to talk about is the Boston Celtics, right? Boston Celtics. Boston Celtics are being the Boston Celtics. They had a lot of stuff that they dealt with at the beginning of the season. It's still not over. You got this championship that is on their shoulder that people are expecting them to be back in the NBA Finals. So if the Celtics doesn't make it back to the NBA Finals, right? Is it a failure? Is it a failure if they don't win the championship? I should say, if they don't win the championship, is it a failure? Say they get back to the finals, right? And they run into somebody out west, any of those teams, because there's a lot of teams out west that's balling. Is it really a failure? Yes, it is, right? Yes, it is. I do believe the Celtics are built to win now. And also, when you have that taste and you can see where you made your mistakes in the Golden State, series, I do believe they know where they made their mistakes. And some of that stuff was self-inflicted, but also some of that was what the Warriors was able to do, because the Warriors were able to stay patient. And you learn that through the experiences that you gain in playing these games, right? And you're like, all right, I know how to handle that situation different next time. Even Golden State pointed out, like, that's a dangerous team. So what's even more dangerous? A team that gains experience. So yeah, if they don't get back to the finals, and if they don't win the finals, I would consider this season a failure, and I'm pretty sure they would as well, because they want to overcome all these challenges. We know what happened at the beginning of the season, or right before the season started. They're like, we still play it on the court, right? We want to prove everybody wrong, and this is the opportunity, and makes their journey, I guess, that much sweeter if they accomplish, the goal, right? So normally this part will be where I would say, hey, we're going to do the big L award, the big loser award, right? So I'm not really going to do a loser, but I'm going to say the big P award, right? P as in Paul, P as in perturb. So this is my perturb award. So my perturb award is going out, and I talked about them earlier. It's going out to the Las Vegas Raiders, right? No, I'm not a Raiders fan. You know that. Look what I'm wearing. You obviously know that. I said that, before. But this is why I'm perturbed, because it was like everything was set up for them to win and for the Rams to lose again, right? And why? Why do I want the Rams to lose again? I'll tell you why, because you asked me. Because when they traded Matthew Stafford for Jared Goff, there was a first-round pick. And because the Rams have struggled My Lions has been in the top 4, going into, not even including their own picks that they're going to have. So they got an opportunity for a top 4 pick, and the Raiders come in, and I'm thinking they're going to take care of business, man, and we're going to stay in that top 4, maybe 3, I don't think anybody going to catch Houston, or Houston going to catch up with anybody to move out of that 1. But I'm like, bet we stay there. And they let this game happen that happened Thursday night, man. We're trying to turn the corner. And having another high draft pick would be amazing. But it didn't happen, right? Baker Mayfield. Why didn't you just come in one day? Maybe that would have, they still would have won the game. I don't know, but that's my little perturb award. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That is it. We are going to get out of here, and hopefully, you're having a good weekend. Hopefully, you're having a great weekend, man. Y'all go out there. Y'all be safe. Y'all, look, it's getting close to what time it is, the holiday season. So people be acting a little bit crazy out here. So watch your back. Watch your back when you're out there, okay? Watch your back. But again, appreciation for the donations. I forgot to mention, we reached the $2,500 mark today. $2,500 in donations, right? Let's get to 3,000. We still got another week left. Let's do some damage so we can do some real good damage with the kids. So for your man, Jelani JB Bodie, host of this thing called The Wait a Minute Show, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to holler at y'all later, man. Y'all be good. 2 things as always. Stay positive and push forward. And I'll holler at y'all later. Lopan, get us out of here. This time.